all the pyramids in the world, is related to the construction of the grid, of this Christ consciousness grid.
The grid began about 200 years prior to the beginning of the last cycle. The Sphinx is far older than the Great Pyramid. The Great Pyramid is much newer, and it was the first piece of the Christ consciousness grid to be built. Let me explain one other thing, and that is, why did they do this? Because prior to the fall, most of humanity was living in their hearts. There was a few that were not, maybe 1,000 people. Most of humanity was totally focused in their heart. And so we had already attained a unity level of consciousness before. But because of these 1,000 people and their misuse of energy, a very sophisticated level of energy, it caused the earth to fall and down through dimensional levels into where we are now, or in the way we've been speaking now, it caused us to move from our heart to our mind. Because we had obtained this level of consciousness a long time ago, because we were already there, life everywhere agreed that Earth could make a synthetic system for this to get us back to there. And that's usually not done. Usually, and almost always, it's a natural process, and it just takes a very, very long time, and we eventually come to this unity consciousness without anybody doing anything. Again, because we had attained it once and then fell, then it was proved that we could build a structure all around the world, which is an extreme level of what is called geomancy, to manipulate the energies and internal and external energies of the earth to synthetically create this grid around the earth, which would then allow us to move from the mind back to the heart and into unity consciousness. If that grid wasn't there, we couldn't do it no matter what. And so that's why all this energy has been spent. You can just imagine how many millions and millions of human hours have been spent to build these blocks and these pyramids and these things all over the world in order to save humanity. It's worth every minute of it.
So this synthetic grid has been built since the time of the pyramids? That's the purpose of these pyramids? To create this synthetic grid around the earth? It
is the primary purpose. There are other reasons why each individual one was built. They have, because of their shape and form and where they're located precisely on the earth, they have individual characteristics. Great Pyramid, the first one, it was an initiation temple. It was not a tomb. It was designed internally and externally to do exactly what the grid would do globally. Initiations that took place in the Great Pyramid, they were designed from people that were living in their brain and to return to their heart. In other words, to move into the higher levels of consciousness. When they did that, they were given the Ankh, and you always see on the walls someone holding the Ankh means eternal life. They had attained immortality. They were achieving that on individual levels, and so that they could keep the seed of it alive. The dream was that eventually, which is now, all of this work we've been doing would allow all of humanity to come into this higher level